If you're a student, an early professional, or honestly anyone even thinking about learning how to code in 2026, you need to hear this before you do it the old school way. Because the honest answer to the question, should you learn how to code, is not just yes, it is absolutely yes. But here's the twist. The way you learn how to code today should look completely different from how people learned it in 2013 or even 2018. The cost of producing code has dropped dramatically. The time it takes to go from an idea to a working software has collapsed. Models are better, tools are smarter, and AI can generate code faster than any human can ever could. And that means the skill of coding has changed. So if you try to learn the same way people did 10 years ago, you are going to feel frustrated, overwhelmed, and honestly kind of behind. And all I want to do is help you avoid that. Let me first give you some context. I started coding long before AI-assisted development was a thing. Back when I was in school or in undergrad, learning how to code looked very different. We literally wrote code on a piece of paper during examinations. There was no Stack Overflow tabs open on the side. A huge amount of time was spent on syntax, on memorizing how things worked, on writing the pseudocode, on drilling data structures and algorithms by hand. And that did make sense back then. Because back then, the bottleneck was, can you translate logic into valid syntax without help? And that is no longer a bottleneck. Today, nobody starts by reading an SDK documentation line by line. Nobody memorizes APIs. Nobody learns a framework by reading a 200-page manual. The way we retrieve knowledge has fundamentally changed. We went from books to blogs to Stack Overflow, and now AI systems that can reason with you in real time. So the question is not whether you should learn how to code. The question is, what kind of coding skills actually matter in 2026? Let me be very clear about something. Coding is no longer just for back-end engineers or hardcore computer science folks. Coding is now a life skill. If you can think of a practical problem in your life, there is probably a small tool that you can build to solve it. I know someone whose mom works at a dental clinic with appointments, reminders, reschedules, and patient follow-ups. All manual, all annoying. So what he did was built a small, simple AI assistant that manages appointments, sends reminders, and handles basic questions. Now, 10 years ago, that would have required a team. Today, one person with basic coding knowledge and the right tools can do it. You know, even Andrew Ang has said this several times recently that his marketing team and HR team also code using vibe coding tools. And he thinks that it is not impressive, it is basic. And that's how everybody should start thinking about coding. So whether you're trying to build personal chatbots, workflow automations, data cleanup scripts, custom dashboard, or AI-powered assistant for very niche tasks, this is not rocket science anymore. You do not need a computer science degree. You do not need to be bad at math or good at math. You just need a very different mental model to do it. So now here's the big shift that most people miss. As models get better, the cost of writing code goes dramatically down. That means writing code is no longer the scarce skill. Understanding what to build, why it should be built the way, and how to scale it is the real differentiator. This is why the vibe coding discourse is missing the point. Yes, you can describe something in natural language and get a working code. But the moment that you want to scale it, maintain it, deploy it, secure it, or make it reliable, fundamentals come back. Cloud concepts matter. System design matters. Data modeling matters. Understanding how machine learning system works matters. And that's true even for beginners. Not because you need to master everything upfront, but because you need to understand how things fit together. So here's the first practical shift I want you to make. Do not start by asking, should I learn Python or JavaScript? The question made sense in 2015. It is a weak question in 2026. Instead, open a job board, whether it's LinkedIn, Indeed, or any local job portal, and type in a role. Backend developer, data analyst, AI engineer, front-end developer, analytics engineer, or ML engineer. Pick whatever you need. Now scroll through 10 to 15 job descriptions. You don't need to read them deeply, just scan them. What tools show up again and again? Is it Python, SQL, TypeScript, AWS, GCP, Docker? That repetition is the market speaking very clearly. This is how you cut through the hype. Not on Twitter threads, not on YouTube titles, not on influencer opinions, but real job postings. This one habit alone will save you months of wasted efforts. Now let's say that you notice Python everywhere. Here's where people go wrong. They say that my goal is to learn Python and they disappear into tutorial land for 3 months. That's literally going backwards. Instead, ask, why is Python showing up? Click into the job descriptions. One role uses Python for data pipelines, another uses it for automation, another pairs it with SQL, and another might pair it with cloud services. Now, you need to understand this, that Python isn't the skill. The skill is moving data, the skill is automating workflows, the skill is building systems that don't break when inputs change. The same thing is for front end. You'll see JavaScript everywhere, but newer roles emphasize TypeScript, component-driven design, and frameworks that manage complexity. The industry is not asking if you can write code. It is asking, can you reason about systems? Here's where I get very practical. If you're starting from scratch in 2026, this is the order that I would recommend you doing. First, pick up a general purpose language. Python or JavaScript are two excellent points to start with. If you're unsure, just pick Python. Then do not start with a massive course. Start with a tiny problem. For example, try to automate a spreadsheet cleanup. You can start with scraping job listings and summarizing the skills. Then build a small chatbot that answers questions from a document. Or you can create a simple dashboard from CSV data. Then learn just enough to move forward. The resources that I genuinely recommend are given below in the description, so do check it out. What I would tell you to do is avoid trying to finish learning something. There is no finish line in any of these. So all you need to do is learn and then implement on portfolio projects. Then here is something people don't hear enough. Breaking things is learning. When you write code, it fails, you get an error, you feel stuck. That moment is actually skill being built. In order to debug your code, you can use any platform that you feel comfortable with. Whether it's going to Reddit or whether it's going to Stack Overflow or just using one of the AI tools to help you with it. Your job when you're using AI assisted coding is debugging and to make sure that everything is working fine. Debugging is part of your learning curve and no engineer has ever written clean code which doesn't need debugging. A code keeps evolving and you'll always need to debug it. And that is a skill that cannot be taken away from humans. The whole reason we call it an AI assisted coding is because we use AI to help us, whether it's to write code or to debug it, but we need to have human in the loop. So when we talk about AI tools, you absolutely need to use them, but use them like a senior engineer sitting next to you. You need to ask the tool, why does this approach fail? What's the simpler mental model here? What's a better system design? What trade-off am I making with this solution? You need to be extremely mindful when you're using these AI coding assistant tools. Don't just paste your prompts and copy the code blindly. If you don't understand what the code is doing at high level, just slow down. AI accelerates our process of coding. It does not replace us from doing it. So people who learn fastest in 2026 are not the ones who copy the most code. They are the ones who ask the best questions. So here is how you know that you're improving. It is not going to be with certificates or by completing more number of courses or learning more languages. Just try this test. Open a random GitHub repository which is related to your target role. Can you understand what it is doing in 30 minutes? It doesn't have to be every line, just the structure, the flow, and the purpose. If not, that's your next goal. Because real jobs don't give you clean tutorials. They give you messy code bases. So learning to navigate unfamiliar code is one of the most valuable skills that you can build. What I'm going to also do is in the video description, I'm going to add a bunch of cookbooks and GitHub repositories in different languages. So I need you to go check it out. Whatever language that you're trying to learn, just go see if you're able to understand those codes. And finally, let me leave you with this. Yes, you should learn how to code. But in 2026, learning to code is not about memorizing it. It's about problem solving, it's about adaptability, and most importantly, system thinking. So all you need to do is start with which role that you want, not the language. Learn through the real problems that people in that role are actually tackling. Then use AI as your thinking partner and your code assistant. Then measure your progress on how quickly you can understand new systems and new code. Once that clicks, learning new tools stop being scary. This ecosystem is going to keep evolving. There'll be new languages, there'll be new tools always coming up. But once you have a coding mindset, you'll never be fearful of any new tools or any new language. Also, finally, if you want to go deeper, check out my next video on AI tools for developers and how to build your first real-world project step by step. So I'll see you in the next video. And in the meantime, if you want to stay updated with the data science and AI concepts, do subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified for my next video.